Živijo, jaz sem Katja iz kolesarskega centra Špan. Danes gostim mednarodnega menedžerja prodaje znamke BMC, Bastiana Fedra, tako da mu bom kar prepustila besedo. Govorila bova o njihovem letošnjem najbolj vročem kolesu, to je Masterpiece. So Bastien, please tell me a little bit about yourself and the BMC.
Yeah, hello everybody. Basically just myself, I'm Bastien, basically responsible of the Distributor Markets here at BMC. So I'm not alone, we are a team of 3 taking care of basically all country on the world, South America, Asia, Australia, Eastern Europe country. The list is quite long, but definitely keep us busy. That's just a short introduction of what I'm doing at BMC, and of course taking care of Slovenia with our partner Špan since a few years. So it's a fruitful partnership so far. So let's continue like this. More towards BMC, just as a short introduction. So BMC, which basically stands as simple as it sounds, as bicycle manufacturing company. So we are based in Switzerland. The brand has been founded, let's say, nearly 25 years ago. More focused towards a premium product approach. I think lots of knowledge have been put into the market by us, which is quite an achievement. So definitely happy to share some more insight towards the next minutes. Yeah.
So if I understand well, you have been at BMC since the very start, or soon after it has been established?
So I started BMC only 5 years ago. So the brand was already quite established. Mm-hmm. I joined basically BMC as an intern for my last year of study. And then the adventure just continue on with the position I am actually. So so far it's been 5 exciting years, and looking forward for the next years to come, definitely.
Okay, sounds quite fascinating as well, because I understand that the BMC's first kind of cold bike was Impact.
Yes.
How did you get to know it? Did you ever ride it, or was it? Do you guys have it here? Sorry.
But I haven't had the chance to ride it. But basically, we have a couple of examples here. So basically, Impact is not really one of the first bikes. It's just has been, let's say, at the beginning, BMC started as a mountain bike brand. Actually, not a lot of people know that, but developed some suspension pattern like the Lomax or something like this. And then actually the owner and the risk, which is unfortunately deceased 2 years ago, decided to actually jump more into a road bike company, but also, let's say, but on a road bike to strive the better. And what's better that actually our own company that which produces his bike, which is then winning the Tour de France. So basically the dream happened in 2011 when Cadel Evans won his Tour de France riding on the Team Machine. So basically the Team Machine was one of the first bikes of BMC. It was back then quite revolutionary as well, already on the early 2000s, because it was a mix of pretty high-end carbon with titanium and something like this to achieve the best goal. But then on the Impact side, there was a project to, let's say, push the boundaries even higher, with having, let's say, a complete carbon, high-end carbon bike produced in Switzerland, basically almost custom-made to every customer, meaning some customer coming in, they were, there was like a bike fitting, and the bike was kind of made themselves. So yeah, that was quite an exciting journey for BMC. I mean, I didn't saw it myself, but basically, as far as I've been told by a couple of colleagues, it was quite exciting. And even today, let's say the knowledge in terms of product development is still kind of a good base for our R&D and product team, because yeah, it has been an opportunity for them to really push everything to the max. Of course, there was, as every product, there was some quick failures or something like this during the way. But I think the end result was really a good learning. And actually, even today, so here at our HQ, we have two buildings, the main building, and then a second building, which is dedicated to R&D. And this one is actually called now the Impact Lab. So we still have all the machinery and everything there that still helps to develop more prototypes today. But yeah, all the learning from this bike, you can still see it a little bit into today's product. Yes.
Okay, sounds really cool. Especially when it comes to, it was back then, to get the bike fitted to your needs was quite unique.
Exactly. It was quite an advanced process at that time. It's when I say push the boundaries, I think it was pushing the boundaries on every level in terms of products, but in terms of marketing, sales of these bikes as well. So yeah, quite a good learning process, definitely.
Right. Let's move the time a bit forward to today, to 21. Where are you guys headed? Where the team is headed and the product development. What are the new ideas that you want to bring to the market, to road bikers or pretty much to any biker that is your bike user?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of stuff gonna be happening this year. Exciting stuff for sure.
I'm all ears.
Yeah. So yeah, I think first of all, in terms of, let's say, racing, if we speak that, I think on the road side, we've already announced some exciting news, but basically it will be the first year that two team will actually ride our bikes. So the newly announced AG2R Citroën team, so quite a big team. And then there is the Qhubeka Assos, formerly known as the NTT team, that will continue the journey with us this year. So yeah, that's quite an achievement. So mainly riding the SLR01 frame, and sometimes for some riders switching to the Time Machine Road for some stages. But let's say the race bike at BMC is definitely the Team Machine, the SLR01. That's the pure race oriented bike. So they will ride that. And also in terms of racing, I think if we switch side and go to the mountain bike side, I think we also have quite exciting news that went live 2 weeks ago with our continuing of the partnership with the team Absolute Absalon, and the reinforcement of this team with quite known person, I would say, multi world champion Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. So that's definitely a great addition to the team, and I think I'm just looking forward to see her push mainly the 4-stroke and the 2-stroke on all courses, and see those bikes on the podiums for sure. So yeah, that's a little bit more, let's say, towards the exciting news on the racing side, which I think here we all believe it's going to be a great year with all those teams, all those athletes on board. And there is a list long of athletes that's riding our frame, but it would take a couple of minutes to go through. But I think they all super nice people, really motivated to ride our brands, which is definitely an asset to have. So that's one really exciting thing. And otherwise, I think let's say, if we go more in terms of products, there'll be exciting news for sure coming. It's a bit too early into the season.
Can you share a few, or maybe just one little bit for me and for our audience?
There'll be let's say nice product. That's what I can say.
Let's move then to the first really
it's
nice product.
it's a bit early on the season, but yeah, basically everything will be unveiled at the right time, and you guys can be sure we'll always try to step up as always with new products and new technologies. So, yeah.
Okay, so since you already mentioned, the new and the nice, and I would say beautiful, and something with really, really unique product story on the market, um, let's start talking about Masterpiece.
Quite an exciting product indeed. Yeah.
Can you tell me the story behind? You have like on the website, you mention that there is this unique story that every customer will be a part of when purchasing a masterpiece. What is your story? There's this nice statement that I came across is because we can.
Yes,
I want you to
that's
talk about that.
that's kind of the start of my answer. Is it's we usually here at BMC always push towards new technology, new production facilities. I mean, always looking forward to have the new best technology.
Yeah.
So that's going into towards because we can. We have actually the engineer, we have the product team, we have the people here that are motivated to create such products. So that goes toward the why because we can simply. And I think it's also going towards proposing something new as an experience for a consumer, something totally new. So let's say in terms of uniqueness of the experience, you can a little bit make the transparency on that with some stuff which are already known on some other world, like supercar, watches, like something really unique products that, not everybody owns, something that makes a difference, something that you strive for. So it's just also an acknowledgement of, the beauty of the product development, because obviously the masterpiece is a raw frame. There is like no paint added, nothing. So it's also for kind of connoisseur to have the best product available in the market. So that there has been a lot of development behind, a lot of talks within the engineer. How can we do that? Because the base is obviously a road machine frame, but on the geo side, but we wanted to push it higher. So basically, a masterpiece frame is entirely different from other carbon frame. The production demands like a really high-end skill set, and it's they're only going to be a few people today in the world that possess this kind of skill sets to develop such a frame, because it's a one molded frame. It's using one tool. It's require not attention to detail, but a super attention to every details, I would say, during the fabrication process. So it's we make sure that, like the carbon layout, they laser cut it. It's everything down to the micromillimeters. So the objective is that every frame is perfect out of the mold. So it's really pushing everything up, and I think the engineers have been scratching their head quite a few times to develop that. But I think we all really proud of the achievements, and it's something. I think we're the only one in the market so far proposing such products, given the fact that our normal product, if I can say so, are already quite high standards. So this is just another user experience that came from a bit of inspiration from other worlds existing.
Right.
So,
Okay. may we touch the special features about the masterpiece now? Can you tell me a little bit more what is so unique, in the little details that we talk about, like the frame and
so the frame, let's say on the G side, as I was mentioning before, it's actually a one-to-one to an existing road machine. So on the Geo side, there is like no changes on that, but then on the frame itself, it's basically where everything is going different. So just took note of the weights actually, like for example on the stock frame, in the difference between the masterpiece, because the masterpiece is actually going to every single details and kind of shaving off all possible grams by going to the details and refineness. We actually achieved to have a frame weighing 871 gram for a size 54. So it's, I don't know if you can imagine, but adding the fork on that, we actually, around the kilogram just for the frame. So it's quite an achievement to get such uniqueness, especially that we didn't put out any, feature, like for example, guiding cable inside. Everything of that is staying inside. So it's not only a beautiful product, it's also for mechanics to build quite a nice product as well, but also to ride, it still kept all the feature from the normal road machine, if I can say so. And then we integrated also some technology to push a little bit the boundaries and developed also some stuff that can be used maybe on other bike for the future, like for example, as you have no paint, usually you have the size, the serial number, and everything is painted on the bike. There we developed a little bit of another process where we integrated a shimp into the bottom bracket, where actually all the info are related in there. So there'll be specific app and codes for every customer who has the chance to own a masterpiece, that everything will be linked there. So that's kind of also pushing a little bit the boundaries on that side too.
This is something that really caught my eye, when I was checking your bike and I was like, ooh, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. I think we had a lot of questions on that, and it's definitely an eye catcher for sure. But it's we didn't hide it. That's for sure. It's something that anyway is communicated. So
there's also something special when you mentioned earlier that you were trying to save on the weight as much as possible, right? Making it as light as it is.
Exactly.
It's also that it only comes with electronic group set, right? So you cannot put on mechanic group set, right?
Exactly. So obviously when you have mechanic group sets, that's actually 2 cable channel that you have to add more into the bike. So indeed, in order to actually cut a little bit those weights, we indeed choose that it will be for electronic shifting only. It's just that what's available on the market right now is so reliable, and I think it's just going towards this more integration and aesthetic of the bikes, especially on a product like this. That not to say that mechanical shifting is bad, but basically you have more cable, which is kind of touching the aesthetic of the whole product. It's you can have this parallel a bit towards cars or anything. When you see supercars, everything is clean, less button, less everything. Basically, just concentrate on the performance. So that was kind of the mojo as well to go through.
All right. You have done a really good job.
Hopefully.
Also, the integrated cockpit system and the tune compliant concept and the D-shaped seat post and flat mount disc brake. These are the high end things that you can expect of a comfortable bike that is really fast, right? So aerodynamic.
Exactly.
frame build. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah. So what we why we choose the road machine first to develop such a product is quite simple, because not everybody is willing to have a race bike, full aero on a racy position. So to let's say to have the more people that enjoy this bike, the best platform to choose from was our endurance platform. So the endurance doesn't mean like you just rely on the bike and you go easy cruise. You can actually really sprint or climb on the road machine. That's no problem at all. Actually, most of the pro riders that even jump from a team machine to a road machine were really impressed on the road machine. So it's just in terms of versatility as a first exercise. It also gave us more possibility to jump on the road machine. So, and yeah, with all the feature from BMC and the technology we developed, especially in terms of integration in such a frame, it was just making completely sense to integrate them into this one for sure.
Also, you have a very special way of building or of molding the frame, right?
Yes.
Which is reinforced in some place, like the most essential places.
Exactly. So yeah, this is a huge work for our engineer team. It's just on every frame is trying to find the best balance between stiffness, compliance, depending of the purpose of the bike. So for example, if you take a team machine, which is obviously our race bike, and then a road machine, which is more towards the endurance, the ratio won't be the same. Like on the team machine, obviously you want more stiffness, something that punchy for the climbs, for the sprints and everything. And then so you still gonna have compliance, but a little bit less on the ratio. And if you jump to the road machine, then the ratio will actually inverse. So as it's an endurance bike, you'll push a little bit more on the compliance side, and have a little bit less of stiffness, still having some, of course, because you still want to have a punchy bike, even though it's an endurance one. But yeah, that's the whole mix that they have to go through, depending of the purpose of the bike. Yes, and this results in some reinforcements on some places, especially where, like on the BB area, on the seat post area, where, let's say, big forces are coming through. So then you have a perfectly reliable bike in the end. So yeah.
Right. So not that we would want to, but if we would cut, the masterpiece in pieces, we would see that the time. Right. You don't do that, but if you would want to, have this scientific approach,
yes,
you would see that the bike frame is different thickness. Exactly. For the purpose that you mentioned before, is to transfer the force of the biker to the bike and to make the bike actually react.
Yeah, totally. So for example, if you cut, let's say, on the middle of the top tube, you will see it, let's say, pretty thin, because normally there is less forces happening there. But then if you go around the BB area there, it's basically where the most force is happening on the bike. There you'll see quite thick, because obviously it's all the power transfer, everything is happening there. So there it's kind of few solid bases. So indeed the thickness will be heavier there. Yeah.
Okay. Since we're already talking about the carbon fiber, this is something that we're really eager to know. What technology, what carbon fibers do you use?
It's all depending of the bike. Let's say it's let's say related to this stiffness compliance ratio I was mentioning before. So depending of the purpose of the bike, and also depending of the, let's say, the pricing level you have. Let's say, for example, if I take the Team Machine SLR family, you have the SLR 01 and the SLR. So there is different type of carbon used between the two. But the goal at the end is to have the same riding experience. So that's really what we strive for. So and of course, with the SLR01, you'll be a little bit lighter, you'll be stiffer, because it's obviously using, let's say, smaller carbon patches. And then on the SLR, it's a little bit using larger ones. Also, this is related, this allows us to actually reduce a little bit the cost of the bikes as well at the end for the end consumer. I mean, this is no secret. It's basically every brand is doing like this. So that's no industry secret, let's say. But then it's really depending of also what's available on the market. So there is no strict rules. We experience quite a lot, especially on the R&D side. So yeah, that's a little bit what I can tell in terms of the carbon use.
So I came across, I just remembered now, I came across one statement somebody somewhere mentioned that there are carbon fibers, coming from China and so on. Where do you take your carbon fibers from?
So our production is Taiwan based. This is basically where we can find the best factories and the best manufacturing to develop our product. Because actually, when developing our product, we sometimes push the limits of ourselves, but also of our partners, our suppliers, factories, to get actually the achievements, so the end results that we want. We let's say we don't satisfy us with that level. We always push to get the max. So yeah, today we have all our, let's say, prototyping and everything which is made in Switzerland, and then the production is in Taiwan.
What about the Masterpiece? Where is Masterpiece made? Who's the maker of the Masterpiece frame?
So what I can tell is basically that the guy making the Masterpiece alive is located in Germany. I'm not allowed to say any names, but basically production yeah, exactly. But yeah, basically production facilities in Germany. Yes.
What are the most fascinating specs for you?
Good question. Yeah. I would say for me, the fascinating stuff here at BMC is really the fact that we develop new technology, always pushing limits, not only in terms of of course racing side, but also integration aesthetic side, but also good on the mechanic side. It's kind of a whole mix. So for example, if we take our integration system, it was quite revolutionary when we launched it with the run machine, the first version of the run machine back in 2016 already. Wow.
Okay.
But yeah, it was something to get aesthetic into the development of the frame, but also we work a lot with our mechanics here, because at the end you can have a really clean solution, but which is not practical at all to mount and build. And this we didn't want it. So I think, yeah, for me, really the most fascinating is really how we push everything towards, and we don't, just sit on what we can do, but always kind of striving for something better. I mean, if you talk to some of the engineer of, for example, the SLR01, which is in the market right now, once he was launched, he was already thinking ahead, actually, of the new one. What can he do better? What can he fine tune and everything? And that's quite fascinating to see, definitely. Yeah.
What is the experience that a customer then will go through when purchasing a Masterpiece? I can understand that at the moment, the COVID situation is dictating what you are able to do and what you're not able to do for your Masterpiece customer. But the initial idea, and maybe if you can tell me a little bit about how will you now give this experience? Is it
Yes.
somehow different now, or will you still stay tuned to the initial concept that you had in mind?
So ideally, getting the closer possible to the initial concept, as you mentioned, even though there is condition in today's world that doesn't allow it. But yeah, basically the idea today, we have two shops partner in Switzerland. Then there is our HQ, and then there is another shop in Seoul in Korea, which are, let's say, the go-to shops always today to get the full masterpiece experience. Of course, then you can see on the Masterpiece website at the end of the scrolling website, you can actually connect to us directly, and we try to give you the best experience possible digitally mainly, because obviously in today's situation it's a bit more complicated than that wasn't written in the plan, let's say. But
can you tell me a little bit? Sorry to interrupt.
no problem.
I'm very curious. Can you describe the initial, like the original idea? You know, how does a customer come to his masterpiece? You know, how do they see,
Exactly.
hug
So
for the first time?
usually it's already first proposing a product which is not on the market, something that people are looking at, and also with this allows us in terms of product to touch people that were not originally interested into bikes, meaning, because it's obviously not a cheap bike. It's quite super expensive and everything. So you also connect to kind of another world as well. But then apart from that, the experience would be that you have the best advice possible in terms of bike fitting, because there is only a few sizes available. There is only 51, 54, 56, and 58 available. We don't, because of fabrication process, it's nearly impossible to do either 47 or 61. It's also because each size require one mold, and it's so specific mold that obviously it's quite expensive mold. So we reduced a little bit also the sizing on that. But yeah, it's the idea is really to have a full personal experience with fitting. With then you can even the target was even to actually flew people here at the BMC HQ and have our head of mechanics mounting their bikes with them or something like this. So yeah, it's kind of all shuffling down now given the current situation. But yeah, we'll still try to have the best experience possible. Yes.
You know, I would volunteer, but you don't make my size.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
How would you build your dream masterpiece? Because obviously you get the frame, right? When you purchase a masterpiece, you get a frame, but then you fit it yourself.
Exactly.
Or, as you mentioned before, you get help, right, with fitting the sizes and everything. There are a few sets already recommended by you, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
But what would be your Bastien, like yours personally?
That was actually quite an interesting question when I saw it, because then it kind of, okay, interesting.
Let's dream a little bit.
Exactly. So let's say going no limit budget, and then I was like, okay, let's think about some stuff.
Let's dream because we can, you know.
Exactly related to that. So yeah, I think personally, I'm quite a big fan of what SRAM was doing with the eTap AXS. So I think on the drivetrain, I would go red eTap AXS full group sets. Physique is, for example, for the saddle, but they have no, this option of having 3D printed saddles especially shaped to your body. So I think as we are on the no limit budget, I would go for that to have the full experience.
Fair enough.
And then I think wheels. I would go. There is like so many good wheels on the markets, but I think I would go for like Chris King hubs, DT Swiss wheels, and tires, some Pirellis or something like this. And it's I mean, there is so many good combination that you could do already on the market, but that would be kind of my initial that was my initial thought if I had the frame right now to build.
Right. Sounds really good. So let us say a word or two on the pricing side. There's a lot of comments also I came across that it is expensive and pricey and so on. And but honestly, the way I see things, different levels of products give different levels of expectations and so on. So since Masterpiece comes, I would say, at the top end on the market, I would say, and also based on the fact that it's highly engineered and produced in Europe, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Right. And also there's a whole set of team of development and things like that. And it's not a product that the market would, essentially need, as you also say, is because
it's really
you
an
can.
Extra. Exactly. It's really an extra because we can develop such things. So that's really the wording on that. Yeah.
Right. So who is the person that should look at, at purchasing this bike as, to pretty much have the most price performance for them?
I think there is not a typical person. I would say I think every passionate of cycling is kind of dreaming of such product. Of course, it's going to be limited. We only plan to have between 130 and 140 frames produced, and a frame is produced only when there is an order behind. It's no advanced production or something like this. So I would say, if somebody is passionate, that has somebody which is willing to have a different experience, I think we open to every customer. There is no limitation on that. So.
If you're passionate enough for the masterpiece, it's yours, right?
Exactly. It's I think it's something that for sure, if you have the chance to own one, you're gonna be recognized as a passionate, and you're gonna ride something completely different, and that you're not gonna cross two masterpieces at the corner of the street. I think it's gonna be a pretty rare thing. Similar to some supercar watches. I'm always kind of taking these images because I think it's quite transparency. But it's that's kind of why we would do that.
Yeah, sounds fascinating. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that we maybe didn't cover in this conversation?
Yeah, I think we cover quite a lot, but I've talked a lot. I think I don't know, but it's definitely a pleasure to work for a brand like BMC, and also to work with distributor like Špan, also really motivated to develop the brand within the country, within Slovenia. I think the Slovenian market is really an emerging market, and I think there is a bright future. I mean, obviously, you guys had the 1-2 at the last Tour de France, so it's just showing the potential, I would say. So unfortunately not at BMC, but who knows in the future.
There's your chance here, and also, we have some skill set that we could talk about, but it's secret.
Exactly. It's really great to work with in such a good environment, and I think more globally, the cycling industry has really somehow benefit from this worldwide COVID situation, with a lot of people jumping into bikes, which have, never, if you take 2 years ago, they would never have thought to jump on a bike. So this is definitely a great joy to see this development. And we hope that it continue like this. And I think it's also, we're all looking forward on what's the future can bring in term of technology possibility, with all the digitalization experience. I think there is a lot of things ahead of us, exciting stuff. So it's definitely something we look for.
I'm also looking forward to keep biking, in reality.
Exactly.
Let's not go digitally there.
No. I think we all agree here on there. It's I think the development of the digital platform is great to see, but I think it will not replace a breeze of fresh air into your face when you're riding headwinds and or something like this. So, or on a mountain bike in the forest. There is so many great examples that outside is really good. And as there was this sentence, outside is free as well, which is quite good to take. And I think cycling is definitely one of the sport where you can enjoy that. And crossing the finger that we can keep as long as possible, for sure.
All right, Bastien. I'm super grateful that you have took my invitation and our invitation, and to have this amazing opportunity to speak to you about such an amazing product. And I really look forward towards you guys to keep inspiring us and to keep bringing such amazing bikes to the world.
Yeah, thanks very much for the invitation, and looking forward for the next steps as well.
All right, thank you very much, and have a lovely day.
Yeah, thank you, Katja, and thank you to all the Slovenian viewers, and hopefully one of those days I can travel to Slovenia and we meet in real, let's say.
We're here open hands.
Exactly. Yeah. As soon as the world get back to normal.